Hey guys, we got a great day today. Sun's out, it's been raining all week, so we're glad we've got this and we can get a mile per gallon test in. And this time we are testing the 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road. Now we're gonna check the mile per gallon on this to see if it matches up with the EPA and what Toyota says it's going to. I'll give you a little more information about that later, but let's take a quick look at this Toyota and then head to the gas station. All right, this is the Blue Crush Metallic is what they said the color is. It looks really nice. I like how everything is blacked out on here. You can see this does have the TRD wheels, and you do have upgraded Bilstein off-road suspension. It does not get the Fox suspension, but it does look pretty cool in there with the blue. See TRD Off-Road on the back. Part of the TRD off-road package that was added to this is a powered tailgate, which is pretty cool. You got some power back here. Actually, that one's just storage, but there is a 12 volt in there and some USB ports. It looks like underneath there. Can you see those? Maybe. Yeah, there we go. All right. And on this side, you do have a 120 volt plug-in. So you do have that, and you've got some other storage in the side there. Got this nice kind of bed liner in there. That's just pretty cool. So that's all of that. And to lift this tailgate, all you actually have to do is pull up on it a little bit, and it will close the rest on its own. All right, it does have the tow package on here with a brake controller. Let's go take a look at the back here. I really do like the interior. I like the back with this leather and this design in the seats. It looks pretty cool. You do have a couple USB-C plugs back here. No vents back here that I was able to find anywhere. And the doors do have TRD on them. And you don't have a center armrest either. You just have these two cup holders up here. There is storage underneath the seats on both sides, and then there's the handle here. What does this handle do? Flips this forward, and there is your JBL subs right there, and you can get a few little things back in there. Looks like that's probably your tire jack. Head up to the front, and there's a whole lot of compartments on the door. Do have powered seats with lumbar, and then here is the interior, the big screen, cup holders. You see the TRD shifter there. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is a really nice truck. I really am going to enjoy driving this today. So this is rated at 19 in the city, 23 on the highway, for an average of 21 miles per gallon. So that's what we're going to be shooting for, 21 miles per gallon. All right, let's get to the gas station and get it filled up, and let's get this test started. Okay, we're at the gas station, and this does not require any special gas, so we're gonna get filled up right now with regular unleaded. So you can see no special requirements anywhere. So we are going to get 87, get filled up. Okay, there we are. We added about 5 gallons of gas. Just so if you're curious, we got $4.99 for 91 here in Illinois, $4.24 for 89, and $3.54 for 87. All right, we are filled up. Let's get in and reset everything and get started. All right, here is our vehicle information right now. So this is going to be current. It says 229 miles. That's going to change as soon as it realizes that we have a full tank of gas. We go to history. This is where we're going to reset. We were averaging 20.5. And like I said earlier, we are going to try to average 21. So I'm going to hit update. That's going to reset us there. And then we want to reset our trip. Over here, trip A, gonna reset. All right, so now we've got trip A reset, and that's what we're gonna be looking at for our mileage, but we're gonna look at miles per gallon over here, and that's what we're going to follow. If you haven't joined me on one of these drives before, I'm going to give you the parameters of the test. We drive 100 miles. We drive 50 miles in one direction, we turn around and drive 50 miles in the exact opposite direction. That way we negate any wind or terrain. The second thing that goes on is that we drive through two towns in the first 50 miles. We drive through the same two towns on the way back the second 50 miles. The next thing is that those two towns that we drive through, we do full loops through those towns, so that way we hit stop signs, stop lights, traffic, that type of stuff. So it's more real world style driving. The other thing that we do is we drive 5 miles per hour over the speed limit, because that is the average of most people. So that'll be 60 on the highway, 35 to 50 in town, and you're looking at about 75 on the interstate. It's going to comprise of about 20 miles of interstate, 20 miles of city driving, and about 60 miles of highway driving. We live here in the Midwest, a lot of open roads, a lot of highways are what we drive on, so that is going to be a more accurate mile per gallon for especially those that live in the Midwest that have a lot of highway driving that we do. We also drive in normal mode. We don't put it in eco mode. We don't put it in sport mode. It is driven in normal mode. So whatever you would just get in your vehicle and go, that's what it's set in. So that is a more realistic type of thing than setting it on eco and maximizing your gas mileage. None of us do that unless we are taking trips, and even then, sometimes we just get in and go. So that's the way we run our tests. All right, we are entering our first town, so I need to give you an update on that. And then after we make the loop through this town, I'll update you again where we are at. If I forgot anything, I will update you guys later on the thing that I forgot. All right, we have entered our first town, and we are averaging 20.7 miles per gallon. So pretty close to that 21. Not quite there yet, but we have a whole lot more driving to do. So we're going to make a loop through this town, and then I will update you guys after we get done with that loop and head out on the highway where we're at. And then I'll also give you some more information about this Toyota Tacoma. We are back out on the highway after making that loop through town. And just a lot of traffic this morning. I'm not sure why. This is a Friday morning. You know, people have to work. Okay, so far 8.5 miles driven, and we are at 18.9 miles per gallon. There's something pretty interesting up here, and if I get up close enough to it, I will show you, because it's something you don't see every day. I am going to give you a little more information about this Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road. So make sure you guys watch that, and then I will update you as we enter our next town. This is definitely something that you don't see every day. It has a Dodge emblem on the back. That's pretty cool. Let's see what this thing looks like when it turns. Wow. Looks like it says little fella rat. I can't tell if that's right, exactly what that says or not, but there it goes. Let's talk about this Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road. Now this sits about the middle of the lineup, so it sits just above the Tacoma Sport, and then you go on up to the TRD, you can get the iForce Max. Now this one does not have the iForce Max in it. This is just the iForce, which basically means that it is a turboed 4-cylinder. So this is a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder turbo. You got about 278 horsepower. So nothing crazy, but enough. It's definitely enough. I don't feel like it's struggling at all, but then you can get into the iForce Max. It's going to give you about 320 horsepower, along with a hybrid system that helps provide that power, because it'll have an electric drive motor. Now that is going to be in the higher trims, and at the TRD Pro it will come standard on. Now what this TRD Off-Road gets is an off-road package on top of what the SR5 gets. So this gets Bilstein off-road shocks and springs, and then you also get the TRD wheels that we looked at earlier, and then of course the sticker on the bed. You don't want to miss out on that sticker. There is an $8,000 TRD off-road package that you can add on that gives you the heated and ventilated front seats with the leather trim, and then also gives you the sunroof and a few other things, a JBL audio system. You get a trailer tow package along with a brake controller, and you get the powered tailgate. There is a few other things that are along in there, and this thing just bangs at me all the time if I'm not like jerking on the steering wheel. It's crazy. The lane centering does really good, so their lane tracing system does real well. I don't usually drive with it unless I am talking to you guys while I'm driving. So the only thing I'm going to tell you right now is, because I really haven't driven this too much, is that the seats are very comfortable. It is really nice in here in the interior. The screen, I do like the big screen. It looks really nice. It's really easy to use. Toyota and Lexus, their infotainment system that they use is really good and really quick. They've kind of made that thing work excellent. It's all the same, so most of your stuff, your settings are going to be on the screen. There are some settings on the dash that you can change with driver assist and things like that, but most of your features will be in the infotainment screen that you can use. And they also always integrate climate control buttons and switches and everything below as well as in the screen. So that is really nice to be able to use either one of those. And one thing that I've noticed is that you can hear the turbo. You can hear that thing whistle a little bit, which is pretty cool. If you don't have anything playing, if you got radio on, you're not going to hear it. But it's pretty cool when you don't. Other than that, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about some pricing. I did forget to mention that it is going to be about 80 degrees today, and we've got about a 12 to 15 mile per hour wind right now. Earlier, we didn't have any wind, but now we do. So that's why we go in one direction, turn around, and come back in the exact opposite direction. Okay, so pricing on this one. So here's a little bit about what your options are. So you can get an SR, which basically is the very base model, and that is going to be your work truck type, and that's going to be right around $31,000 and some change. Now, most people, if they go look at the base, your base is basically going to be the SR5. The SR5 is going to start out at $36,200. Then you can kind of move up through with a Sport, and I think a Sport Plus, and then you get to the this TRD Off-Road, and that is going to be starting out at around $41,800. So really not too bad. But this one with the TRD Off-Road package that gave you the moonroof, the heated and ventilated seats, and the power tailgate, and those items were an additional $8,000. So you have to decide if that's something worth it to you or not. Otherwise, this one, as we're driving right now, comes in at $54,829. That is a big jump from $41,800. So really make sure that you want that $8,000 worth of stuff, because it doesn't include your suspension and all that. That is already part of the package. That additional package that you buy is where all the fancy stuff comes in, and you're gonna pay for it. So, all right, that's all the information I've got for you guys right now. If you want more information, make sure that you watch the review that's up on the channel right now, and it will be linked at the end of the video. So make sure you guys don't miss that, and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more of these tests. All right, we're going to be coming into our next town, so I'm going to update you on that here in just a few minutes. Got some construction that we're kind of driving through here. So like I said, we want real world. Well, this is real world. Okay, so far we have driven 28.9 miles and we are averaging 23.8 miles per gallon. So a lot of highway driving we just did, and that really brought that number up. So they estimate on the highway at 23, but obviously it's higher than that because we are at almost 24. So we did have a little bit of a wind pushing us on that back end, so we should see that change on the way back. So after we get done with this loop through this town, then I will update you again before we get up on the interstate. We made our loop through the town. So far, we are at 35.8 miles and 23.4 miles per gallon. So it's doing really well. All right, we're gonna get up on the interstate right here. And I'm guessing that at interstate speeds, we will probably lose some miles per gallon. Especially when we accelerate up here, because we're going to not hammer it, but we're going to give it a decent amount of gas, and you guys can hear this engine and exhaust and whatever else is making noise on this truck. But we'll get straightened out here. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Get locked in here at 75. And so 36.8 miles driven and 22.8 after accelerating onto the interstate. So I'll update you guys soon when we get to our turnaround point, and then we'll be heading back in the opposite direction, and we'll go back through those two towns again on our way back to the gas station. This is where our turnaround is on the interstate. So far, we are at 49.4 miles and right at 22.1 miles per gallon. We're gonna get turned around up here. Usually there's not a lot of traffic up here, but today, I don't know what the deal is with this Friday, but a lot of people are out and running around. So a lot of people must have had today off for some strange reason. But we're gonna go up here and we'll get turned around, and then we'll head back down the other side. Shouldn't be too bad, but it looks like we're gonna sit here for a minute. It's easy. We're gonna go right over here. We're gonna get right back down onto the interstate. Okay, this does have some body lean. All right, I'm gonna get up here and then I'll accelerate so you guys can hear the engine again. All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1, here we go. All right, let's get locked in. 75 again. We are locked in, and so far 50.8 miles and 21.7 miles per gallon. Now we are going to be driving into the wind most of the way back, so we probably will lose some of that we gained on the highway on the way here. So as soon as we get off the interstate or get ready to get off the interstate, I will update you where we're at before we enter town, and then we'll make a loop through that town and head back to the gas station. This is our exit off of the interstate. So far 63.5 miles and 22 miles per gallon. So we're just above the average of 21, which is pretty good. So we'll see what happens when we make this loop through the town and see if we lose some with all the stop signs and stop lights. Then we're going to head out onto the highway. I will let you know after we make the loop where we stand. All right, we are getting back onto the highway after making that loop through town. And right now we are at 71.4 miles and we're looking at 21.8 miles per gallon. So just a little above what we're supposed to average. So that's okay. I think we're gonna probably stick right around that, maybe get down to the 21, but we ought to be pretty close. Okay, I will update you guys when we get to the next town, and we'll make a loop through that one and then head back to the gas station. We are entering the last town. We are going to make a loop through this town. So far, we are at 92.6 miles and 22.7 miles per gallon. We are about 1.5 mile per gallon above what we should be rating. So that's really not that bad. It's never going to be dead on, or well, it has been dead on. I have had some that have been, but they don't usually get dead on. We're gonna make a loop through this town. I will update you after we get done with that and are on our way back to the gas station. We made our loop through town and are back out on the highway now. So we are looking at 96.4 miles and 22.6 miles per gallon. We are on our way back to the gas station. So as soon as we get there, we will get filled up and look at some final numbers and do some calculations. We're coming up on the gas station. So far, 99.8 miles. It's funny how I can drive the same route every single time and end up with a slightly different mileage. So I'm just going to go up here, circle around to the other side of the gas station, see if we can make that hit 100 miles, which it just did. So we will be just over 100 miles. And then I'm gonna get the same pump that we used earlier. All right, come around here. All right, get right in here. 100.1 is what we have. 22.7 miles per gallon is what the truck says. So let's fill it up and then we'll get the calculator out and see if it's right. Get it started up. All right. Okay, so we've got 4.322. So that is what we're gonna go from. And let's get this done up and we'll get inside and run the calculations. Okay. Let's run the numbers. So we had 100.1 miles. We're going to divide that by 4.322. 4.322 gives us a total of 23.1. So we got 23.1 miles per gallon and the truck says 22.6. So just off by about 0.5 mile per gallon. So that is really good. And we surpassed the EPA number also by 1.6 miles per gallon. So really impressed at this truck. Did a really good job. But one thing I can say, when you are at a stoplight, you can't even feel a vibration from the engine, even though it's idling. Like right now it's idling and you can't even feel the vibration of the engine. It's pretty impressive. So the 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road real world mile per gallon is 23.1. All right, guys, if you didn't subscribe yet, make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Then click on one of the videos that's on the screen right now. One of them is a review of this Tacoma, so you can see everything about it. And the other one is something that YouTube thinks that you might like. And pick one of those, and then I will see you in the next one.